everyone, welcome to my garden. Today is a really nice day. I just finished watering and I'm trying to tackle this bed. So I figured, maybe I'll just take you with me and you can see what I do, because this is kind of what we do this type of, this time of the season. There's just a lot to be cut down, a lot to be deadheaded, fertilized, watered, mostly just maintenance, because it takes so much time to get everything done that it's hard to continue with the new project. So I just finished watering, and many of you guys know I water by hand, so it does take me a long time, and but I mean, I do like it because I feel like I have a relationship with my plants, watering, going through plant to plant and monitoring and looking, and I really like that time, but it does take lots of time. So this bed really needs some attention, because you can see lots of irises that are flopping over, that needs to be trimmed. Lilies are finished, needs to be trimmed. Some of the roses that was affected by spider mites, some of the roses that have been affected by spider mites, they dropped leaves that needs to be picked up and cleaned, and some things just to be cut down and maybe remove some weeds and stuff. And at the same time, I would like to add a couple of more things to the garden today. So one is going to be this beautiful smoke bush. This is a dwarf variety, which is going to be only about 1 meter tall and 1 meter wide, and it has this gorgeous foliage of the color. So I'm adding this beautiful red foliage to the garden. It has it just really, you can see maybe right here, it has really beautiful, like a dark purple to burgundy edges to the leaves, which is going to be really beautiful here. So as you can see right here, I planted crepe myrtle. This is a dwarf crepe myrtle. It will go up to about 1.5 meters tall, and it has a really nice red foliage. And it's so important to have this in the garden, because if you look from here to the up to the garden, you can see I have a Japanese maple, which is the dark variety, and I'm thinking this might be bloodgood. When I purchased, there was no name on it, so I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it seemed like it may be bloodgood. So there is that, and then we have crepe myrtle here, which is also brings that dark red beautiful foliage. And I thought, George, maybe you can stand there, and I thought if I add this one right here, which will be really beautiful, bringing that red to the almost to the end, so it will kind of continue that red foliage from different spots. And then what I'm going to do here on this side is I have another red foliage. This is Japanese maple. This is called oh, it's right here. Hang on, it's Tumbleys, I think. So Tumbleys red, and this one is really beautiful, and this really needs to go into the ground. So this one is going to be about about 3 meters in height, and then have only it will be only 1 meter in wide. So this area here in this bed here, I have several things growing. So in this bed here, I had lilac bush growing. So this was a small variety lilac, which, as you guys have seen maybe in my previous videos, I have a really beautiful lilac called Beauty of Moscow, and it starts with a light pink. It's has double florets, very beautiful, and then opens wide and very fragrant, beautiful lilac. And I had the second one because I loved it so much. And in the beginning, I thought that this would be a really good spot, but unfortunately, as the time went, I realized that it kind of is it was leaning towards the sun, because it was trying to come to the sun. As you can see, it has hedges in the back, so it couldn't get lots of light in the back, and it was just too heavy for this area because the bed is not very big. I was kind of leaning over. Dahlia, I have some dahlias, and I have roses, etc., cannas that's growing here, so it was kind of leaning moving over to the other plants. So I was really happy because I was able to gift that to a very good friend of ours. They came yesterday morning. We dug it out right from here. You can see the spot that it's been dug out. So it was a hole. So we dug out and they took it to their garden. It was really nice size, maybe almost 1.5 meter tall bush, which was great. So they were able to plant in their garden and hopefully enjoy it as it starts growing there. So, but here I'm going to replace the lilac with this beautiful Japanese maple. Now, this one I already placed here a few times. It seems like it can take the sun in this area. And always remember that in a containers, they will dry out clearly a lot faster than if they are in the ground. If they're doing okay in a container, then they will do really well in the ground. And so I'm going to plant this Japanese maple right here for the gorgeous red foliage, and so then it will be also symmetrical because we will have the red, and I have another red there, and it will all work together harmoniously. So I'm very excited about this. So that's what's going to happen today. Then I wanted to show you also I have a jasmine that's growing here as a ground cover, which is really beautiful, and I like how the look of the jasmine, but it does need to be trimmed because it seems like it's starting to throw shoots out from different places, so it needs to be trimmed. You can see it's kind of overgrown here a little bit and kind of starting to wrap itself around other bushes. So I'm going to trim this jasmine, clear out, and we had really hot wind as we normally do sometimes because we are close to Mediterranean. Sometimes we get really hot wind and it can be really hard on the plants. So also it drops lots of stuff, like the pine needles. So this bed is literally almost covered with the pine needles. I need to go ahead and clean them out, just clean out the bed and make it all look nice and tidy, trim everything down, because this also helps to prevent the bugs and everything that can hide in between the leaves and things like that. So the cleaner you make your garden, less problems possibly we can prevent. So all right, well, we'll just go ahead and get that started. I have a few tools, and I already left my hose out just because I need to go ahead and plant things and water it. So I decided I don't even need to put that away. We'll go ahead and clean this out, I might just plant that first because I don't want it to sit in the sun. And we'll start cleaning. So I have a bag here. Usually these bags are I recycle it because I get compost and manure with these bags. Then I just recycle these bags for the like the debris and stuff that I'm cleaning. This bucket here I'm going to use for composting because I don't use everything in my compost. I have some tools here. So this secateur is basically just trimming random stuff. This one I love. This one I always keep it very clean. I use this for deadheading. And then I have another tool. This I use a lot for the removing weeds. Then we have I have trimmer, which I'm going to cut the jasmine. I have rake that I'm going to rake everything, and my shovel. So in this bucket I have sand a little bit because many of you guys know I use sand in my soil because I have a very clay soil and it does like to clump up and dry, and sand doesn't allow that to happen. So now going forward, anything I plant I try to use sand in incorporating with the soil and amending it before the planting. And then here I also have mycorrhizal fungi, which I normally use for planting. And so this is what's basically going to happen. I will go ahead, and I always like to clean my secateurs when I am cutting or trimming or deadheading from plant to plant. And I usually use disinfectant wipes. I think they work really well. You just kind of wipe them really well after you finish one rose bush, especially in this time of a season when we have lots of fungus and diseases and different kinds of insects that try to get on your plants. So that's kind of what I do. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and get this one into the ground, And then here, before I plant this smoke bush, I have a canna lily here. And this canna needs to be removed because I like to plant the smoke bush in the same spot as the where the canna is growing at the moment. Then this canna is beautiful. It has a beautiful yellow color. So what I'm going to do is divide the canna and then kind of spread them around a little bit, and that way when they get you know, then they can just poke through from different places. Then I have the red, I have the yellow, etc. So anyway, we'll get started. Okay, so one tree is planted and it's going to be gorgeous. I'm so excited about this tree because I have seen them online, and I happened to find that in Europe. I didn't know if I could, but I was able to. I was very, very happy, and I think that narrow columnar shape is going to look really pretty here for the red foliage. So I'm very excited about that. We'll get to my next project. Okay. I can feel the webs. So I've been spraying and I've been killing them. But I think it just takes some time to really get rid of the spider mites. They don't go away very fast, and I can still feel it sometimes when I get in. I can touch, but I can see them. So just keep working on it. Sometimes. Okay, so everything looks nice, clean. I weeded the entire bed. You can see right here I trimmed all the irises. And look at this rose, not gorgeous. It's already fading away, but it has several buds that I'm looking forward to. It got a little bit of a damage, but it's okay. Overall, it will bounce back, I think. So, but for most part, everything is clean, trimmed. You can see right here, the iris was really covering the light to get to this dahlia. So hopefully dahlia will start bouncing back. Rose was really damaged by spider mites. I cleaned out all the yellow leaves as possible, raked that, cleaned it underneath. Hopefully they all will bounce back. You can see the roses are healthy. It's just this damage that we had from spider mites, but it is what it is. It's just, it happens. There's nothing we can do about that. We just need to control it the best we can. For the most part, I try not to spray it, and I probably could have done like preventative spray in the beginning. I didn't do it. I really was trying to not spray anything, but sometimes it just, it happens. Anyway, for most part, they're okay. They will bounce back, will be fine. And now let's go ahead and start digging out our canna lily. So you can see this is, in this whole bag, it was all just clean up. This one will be wasted. This is a waste. And this one here, you can see how much compost I have. So what I do for the compost, I just go ahead and remove all the good stuff, like that it's not damaged, there's no weeds, etc. So I trim it really well so it breaks down fast and efficient. So I just cut everything up, get ready for the compost. This one was staked that I don't need. All right, let's go get this part done now. We need to dig out. Put our tools here for a moment. Here's my shovel. All right, so this is the canna lily that I planted here, and it's really pretty. Here I have one right here, and I can show you. This is blooming. You can see there is one right here that's blooming really well. Oh, this one needs to be staked. Looks like it's falling over. Maybe I'll just bring that stake. These are the canna lilies, and they're really nice. They're not super tall, but they're beautiful. Keep reblooming. I really like them. I have them several places. So I'm going to get this one dug out, and I'm going to separate them, divide them into few, and spread them around again. One, two, looks like three. One, two, three. So this is my soil. Look how clay this is. This is why I use sand, because when I use sand, it doesn't compact like this. I actually get really good luck planting, and also it keeps it wet for a lot longer. So this one, for example, you see, it takes a long time to soak this. And when I use sand, for example, this rose right here, this is Munstead wood, David Aston Munstead wood rose. I replanted this or transplanted this early spring, early this season, and I used sand. But you can see here, because I use sand, see how moist it stays. But anything that I haven't used sand, it gets very clay and gets rock hard. So going forward, I know it's a lot of work, but I have to go ahead and start amending with sand. Just leave this the way it is. Okay, so that's that.
think adding a little water now would make that look as it looks?
Probably not. It's gonna be a muddy mess. It's gonna be harder to work with. I'm gonna mix it in.
Just a little bit. Always stir it up.
And then it's perfect. Okay guys, I am finished. Watered the bed really well. Let's go over it just really quick so you can see. So here I planted a smoke bush. This is a dwarf variety called lily here in Europe, and it has this beautiful red foliage. So this will bring this red interest here. And then we divided the canna lilies. So I have one here, another one right there. This is a monster wood, which will be really beautiful, deep color flowers accompanying the yellow and the reds. And then I have some dahlias. I trimmed, I have a coral charm peonies here that I went ahead and trimmed to bring light to the others, because I have some dahlias here. They will be really happy to get some sun on them. And so I trimmed down, I have a couple of them, so I trimmed down all this foliage from the peonies to allow some room, and then planted two more canna lilies here. Just cleaned out the entire bed to removed all the weeds, and then I trimmed the jasmine because it was kind of going everywhere, so I went ahead and gave a light trim to the jasmine. And then I also secured some of them with the garden staples. I secured some of the edges here to keep it in line so it continues going, and I do like that. I love because it's evergreen, it stays really it keeps it nice, beautiful border here, so it's beautiful. Anyway, it feels really good to tackle this project. It feels like, you know, when you clean your house and then it's just everything sparkles, and it kind of does the feeling, you know, when you clean up your garden bed. Anyway, I hope you guys weren't too bored with this video, because that's kind of what we do around here at this time, just clean, trim, deadhead, and deal with basically diseases and spider mites, etc. But that's just kind of the gardening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, and show the other one. Yes. And then before I finish, George wanted us to go over and check out the Japanese maple, because I forgot to show you. Let's go ahead and take a look at that really quick before we wrap up this video. What would I do without George? Okay, and here is this beautiful Japanese maple. I'm so excited again to have this Japanese maple in my garden. This is Tombly's Red Centennial, and Centennial or Sentinel?
Sentinel.
Sentinel. And so we'll put that on the screen so you can see them. But again, this stays very narrow and upright, so it will go up to about 3 meters tall, and will be only about 1 meter wide, which is really, really great. Will fit in this area just perfectly fine, and it will bring the really beautiful red interest with the smoke bush there. So I think it's going to bring really nice harmony to the garden. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and please write me. I love to read all your messages, and I am responding to all of you guys. With some of you, I already feel like I know you because we've been kind of communicating a lot through the online. And have a wonderful week. Don't forget to subscribe to my videos if you like them. Share with your friends if you have a gardening friends, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.